While playing the piano is a very difficult thing to do, learning how to play the piano can be made rather easy, and there are plenty of tools for that. I guess it just depends on at what stage you find yourself on your journey to becoming a pianist. One of the ways to begin learning how to play the piano the easy way is to take a look at the Aeolian mode, also known as the minor scales. Now, at least for the moment, just understanding that two different scales are not actually that different can at least alleviate the worry that there is too much to learn, because this is the case with every single one of the other scales, and there are 12 in total. Now the scales at the top and bottom are actually a little more special and are in fact mirror images of themselves, depending on how you look at them. So if we refer to the shape created by the notes in each scale as a pattern, instead of having to learn 12 patterns, you only have to learn 7. That is 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because these 5 are actually mirror images of each other. So with that in mind, we're just going to go ahead and pick one of these scales. It doesn't really matter which one and which side. We'll take, for example, C sharp minor scale. On this page, we can see the guide for the right hand. If you take a look at these 12 tones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are all the tones that we're playing with. And you can split these 12 tones into 2 sections. This section, 5 tones, and then this section, 7 tones. Generally speaking, in this section, these 3 fingers are king. You might be able to see how they fit quite well on these 3 black keys. No matter what key we might be playing in. Similarly, in this section, where we have 5 tones, these 2 fingers are king. So no matter what scale we're playing, this section will be mainly played by these 2 fingers, while this section will be mainly played by these 3 fingers. Now in the C sharp minor scale, we have 2, 3 here, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. That is to say, if we want to keep playing the scale more than 1 octave, up or down. In different circumstances, finger 1 might be replaced by finger 4 and also by finger 5. This is just a guide of where your fingers would go if you played the scale more than 1 octave, up or down. Now, it's important to get your hands used to this position, because moving through all these scales, the positions remain quite constant. Slight changes depending on where you're going. But moving from scale to scale, there are very small changes happening. Specifically, this scale has only one note that is different from this scale, and the positions remain pretty much the same. In this case, finger 4 plays this note instead of this note. The main purpose of exercises is to get your fingers in shape, more specifically your muscles, the muscles that control your fingers. Now, you can only do that by actually using your fingers to play the piano. You don't have to play a particular song or a particular melody. You don't have to use both hands at the same time right from the beginning. But you must get both your hands used to the positions and teach your fingers to play specific sounds. There are hundreds of exercises out there that you can learn and try and do as per the instructions that come with each exercise. Of course, it would be beneficial to learn those exercises and try and do them, but you shouldn't stress yourself too much with getting them right from the beginning. But my advice would be to make up your own exercises. My left hand is just beginning to feel a little bit sore. Which is a clear sign that I should give it a rest, if only for a few minutes. I'm doing right now is just moving up and down using the exact same notes that we learned in the beginning. Nothing fancy, nothing planned. Just try and observe what's happening. Doing my best to keep my fingers in the positions that we learned at the beginning. Of course, mistakes happen. Once again, you don't have to follow anything in particular, at least in the beginning. Do make sure to alternate your hands as soon as you feel any soreness, especially here. If you feel like both hands are quite tired, give them a break, but don't necessarily walk away from the piano if you do have time to sit at the piano. Don't let that take you away from the keyboard. You can do other things at the keyboard to help you learn more about the piano. I mentioned intervals early on. Just gently play around with intervals. You don't have to know the names of the intervals to be able to play with them. Very good app for learning the intervals, particularly learning the names of the intervals, and also the way they sound, is Tenuto. T-E-N-U-T-O. You download it on your mobile and it plays you intervals, and then you have to guess which type of interval the app is giving you. And you can use your keyboard to guess what it is, and then you get to tap on the screen and so on. If your hands are not tired yet, you can try and play it with both hands. Start slowly by holding both hands in the same position. And then gradually try and move up and down more than just one octave. As you can see, that's a little more difficult. I'm sure this particular exercise, for example, does have a name, but I haven't learned it from somewhere else. I just kind of made it up on the spot. And this is what you kind of want to do. Learning an exercise from someone else can be a little bit difficult because you might be at a level when you can't just go ahead and do it. Or you might be past that level. And that particular exercise might be a bit too boring for you. So that's why I would recommend making up your own exercises. As long as you sit at your keyboard and get your hands to work, get your fingers to work. The beginning doesn't have to follow a very strict schedule. If you're curious and in the mood, try and play with chords. Once again, the names are important, but you don't have to know the names of a chord to be able to play it. A chord has at least 3 notes. So this is a chord. This is another chord. Another one. All these are diatonic chords, meaning they only use the notes in this particular key that we're playing in right now. A chord with 3 different notes is a triad.